Hello, this is Janila, the person behind Crafty Crochet Castle, and in this video I'll show you the pattern to crochet the Bad Ghost Wind Spinner. This tutorial is beginner friendly and the pattern uses basic crochet stitches. I would rate the difficulty of this pattern as intermediate as there is some sewing required to finish this wind spinner. This project measures about 12 inches long when hung. Your measurements may vary. I hope you will crochet this along with me. To crochet the Bad Ghost Wind Spinner, I'm using worsted weight yarn. This is 100% acrylic yarn in white. You would need a very tiny amount of yarn in black to embroider the mouth. I'm using a 4.5 mm crochet hook for this yarn. You can use any yarn for this project and choose a hook that is 1 or 2 sizes smaller than the recommended hook size for your yarn weight. I'm also using scissors, yarn needle, stitch markers, 2 8 mm safety eyes and some polyester fiberfill. Let's get started working on the body. I'll take my white yarn here and for round 1, I'll start by doing a magic circle. If you find it hard to work on a magic circle, you can always do chain 2 and work your round 1 stitches, that is 8 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Now let me show you how to do a magic circle. I'm going to hold my yarn like this and I will wrap it around my 2 fingers. And I will cross it over at the point where the yarn meets. And I will pinch at this point and carefully take this little loop outside. So we have a little loop here and I will take my hook and I will insert it inside the loop and I will yarn over and bring a little loop. This yarn is from the skein end. Now I will carefully take all my fingers out and hold everything in place. I will pinch at this point so that the loop on the hook is nice and secure, and make sure the loop on the hook is of the correct tension, that is it's not too loose or not too tight, and then you can yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. So there we have made a magic circle. So this ring is adjustable and we'll be working around 1 stitches in these 2 strands of yarn over here. So now I'm going to hold my yarn and everything in place and we can start working on round 1 stitches, that is 8 single crochet inside the ring. So now let me show you how to do a single crochet. To do so, I'll insert my hook, I will yarn over and bring a loop. So now we have 2 loops on the hook. I will yarn over and pull through both the loops at once. So this 1 stitch is called as 1 single crochet, and now I will do 7 more single crochets here so that we have a total of 8 single crochet for round 1. You can always turn to the top of the stitches to count the total number of stitches that you've made. So each V is 1 stitch. So once when we have done a total of 8 single crochet, I'm going to hold the last stitch over here with my thumb and my finger over here, and I'm going to grab the tail with my next hand and I'm going to pull this. See how the opening is getting closed? It's getting smaller and smaller as we pull the tail, and then when you pull it completely, it closes. So there we have completed round 1. For this pattern, we'll be working in rounds and I'm not going to join with a slip stitch at the end of each round. So if you have a stitch marker, you can use that to mark the last stitch of the round. You can use a stitch marker or a bobby pin or even a piece of another color yarn to mark the last stitch. This will help us to identify the last stitch of each round so that you don't have to manually count the stitches for the round and you can work on the repeat pattern easily. Now, let's start working on round 2. For round 2, I will be doing 2 single crochet in every stitch around. So make sure to locate your first single crochet here. Here I'll be inserting my hook and I will do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So here's my first single crochet and I will be inserting my hook inside the same stitch and I will be doing another single crochet here. So like this, I'll be working 2 single crochet in every stitch around for round 2. Round 2 will have a total of 16 single crochet. So now I'm at the last stitch over here, which is marked by a stitch marker. When I come to this stitch, you can remove the stitch marker, work the stitches for that stitch. So here I'm doing 2 single crochets. And then you can place the stitch marker back in the last stitch. So this marks the end of round 2, and at the end of the round we have a little circle here. So now let's work on round 3. For round 3 we'll be following a repeat pattern around. So the repeat pattern starts with 2 single crochet in the next stitch. The next stitch would be the first stitch of round 2. Followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So I'll be repeating this pattern over here. The pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around till I'm at the last stitch over here. Round 3 will have a total of 24 single crochet. So now I'm going to share a little tip with you. Sometimes our magic circle opening will open up. So do you see this little opening in the middle? This will open up. So to prevent this, you can just grab the tail, the magic circle tail, and pull it tight to close it. And to prevent this from opening, you can take a yarn needle and you can secure this with a knot in the wrong side. So I'm grabbing my yarn needle and I will thread my tail in it. This is the magic circle tail. And I'm going to pull the tail tightly so that the opening is completely shut, and then I'm going to secure it with a knot in one of the loops over here. We are taking a loop and not the entire stitch. Then you can secure it with a knot over here. After securing it with a knot, you can insert your needle through the center of the magic circle to bring the yarn to the right side. And then you can take the needle out. This yarn will be the hanger for our project. Now let's start working on round 4. The repeat pattern for round 4 is 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And I will do 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. So this is going to be the pattern for the round. I'll repeat this pattern 2 more times over here. Round 4 will have a total of 27 stitches, and I'm going to meet you when I complete the last stitch for the round. This is how our body will look at the end of round 4, and the project would begin to curl up over here. So now for the next 6 rounds, that is from rounds 5 to round 10, we'll be following the same pattern. The pattern is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Each round will have 27 single crochet. So I'll be crocheting 1 single crochet like this in all the stitches for the round. I'll show you how to work round 5, and then you can repeat that for the remaining 5 rounds. So here I have completed 1 single crochet in almost all the stitches of the round, and we are at the last stitch. When I come to this stitch, I will remove the stitch marker, crochet 1 single crochet here, and then I will place the stitch marker back in the last stitch. So this marks the end of round 5, and this is our first round of 6 rounds repeat. So I'll be repeating this pattern 5 more rounds, and I will meet you at the end of the 6th repeat, that is round 10. If you're not sure of how many rounds you have completed, you can just count it from the top center over here. So this is round 1, and this is round 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I will meet you at the end of round 10. After completing 10 rounds, our project looks like this. Now let's continue working on round 11. For round 11, the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So I'll be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here, and round 11 will have a total of 30 single crochet. I'll meet you after I complete all the stitches in the round. This is how the project looks at the end of round 11. Now let's work on round 12. For round 12, the pattern is 1 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 30 single crochet. So I'll be crocheting 1 single crochet all the way around. And I will meet you at the end of round 12. The repeat pattern for round 13 is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 14 stitches. So I'll be repeating this pattern 1 more time over here, and round 13 will have a total of 32 single crochet. I'll meet you after I complete the last stitch of round 13. Now for round 14, I will do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Round 14 will have a total of 32 single crochet. I'll be repeating this single crochet all the way around, and at the end of the round I'll be joining with a slip stitch over here. So I'll meet you at the end of the round and I'll show you how to join with a slip stitch. Here I am at the last stitch of round 14. This round would have a single crochet in every stitch around and a total of 32 single crochet. So once when I complete the 32nd single crochet, I'll be joining with a slip stitch in the front loop only of the next stitch. So to do so, I'll be inserting my hook inside the front loop only on the next stitch. So normally we'll be inserting our hook like this inside the V over here. The loop that is away from you is the back loop, and the loop that is near you is the front loop. So I'll be inserting my hook inside only in one of the loop. I'll be leaving the back loop behind. And now I will show you how to do a slip stitch. To do so, I will yarn over and bring a loop through the stitch and through the loop on the hook. So there we have completed round 14 with a slip stitch, and we have joined the round. Now I will take a stitch marker and I will mark the last stitch over here, that is the slip stitch. So now for round 15, we'll be working in the front loop only of all the stitches over here. So we'll be inserting only in the front loop. And the repeat pattern for this round is a half double crochet in the next stitch. To do a half double crochet, I will yarn over, insert my hook inside the front loop only of next stitch like this. We'll be leaving the back loop behind, and then I will yarn over and bring a loop through the stitch. So now we have a total of 3 loops on the hook. I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. This stitch is called as the half double crochet, and this stitch is slightly taller than the single crochet. Now in the front loop only of the next stitch, I will be doing a double crochet. To do so, I will yarn over again and I will insert my hook in the front loop only of the next stitch. And then I will yarn over and bring a loop. So now we will have 3 loops on the hook again. So now I will yarn over and I will pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now we have 2 loops remaining. I will yarn over again and I will pull through these 2 loops. This stitch is called as the double crochet, and this is slightly taller than the half double crochet. So now in the next stitch, in the front loop only, I will be doing a half double crochet. And I will do a slip stitch in the front loop only of the next stitch. So this is going to be the repeat pattern for the round. The repeat pattern is a half double crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch, a double crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch, a half double crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch, followed by a slip stitch in the next stitch. So this is going to be the repeat pattern for the remaining stitches in the round. We have this little wavy structure at the bottom of our body over here, and because we worked only on the front loops, we have this little ridge on the inside of the body. We would not have this for any other rounds. We would have this only for this round. I will be repeating this pattern all the way around, and I will meet you after I complete the repeat pattern in the last stitch over here. The last stitch, we'll be doing a slip stitch over here, and we can fasten off over here. To fasten off, I'm going to leave a long tail and I'm going to trim it over here. Next, I'm going to yarn over and pull it through the loop on the hook all the way through, and you can pull it tight to tighten this up. So there we have completed the body of our ghost over here. Now let us attach eyes to this project. Before that, make sure the tail is on the side of our ghost, and then you can attach eyes between round 4 and 5. I'm using 8 mm safety eyes here. If you do not have this, you can use a black yarn and needle and embroider the eyes as well. I'll be attaching the second eye approximately 4 stitches from the first eye. I'll be attaching washer on the inside of a project. I would like to attach hot glue to secure this washer over here. The next step is to embroider the mouth between rounds 5 and 6. I'm taking my black yarn and I'm using a yarn needle to embroider the mouth. Now let us crochet the base of the body. So I'm taking my white yarn here. I will start off with a magic circle followed by 8 single crochet inside the ring. Once again, if you do not prefer to work with a magic circle, you can work on the alternate starting chain, that is chain 2 and 8 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. For this pattern also, we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. And also use a stitch marker to mark the last stitch of the round. Now let's work on round 2. For round 2, I'll do 2 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 16 single crochet. For round 3, the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around, and round 3 will have a total of 24 single crochet. Now let's work on the last round of our base, which is round 4. The repeat pattern for this round is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around, and this round will have a total of 32 stitches. At the end of the round, I will join with a slip stitch in the next stitch. So I'll be inserting my hook inside the stitch over here that is in both the loops. I will yarn over, bring a loop through the stitch and through the loop on the hook, and then we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. We'll be using this tail to sew the base onto the body, so make sure the tail is long enough. And also let us secure the magic circle opening with a knot. So turn this base to the wrong side, grab the magic circle tail, pull it tight to make sure the opening is completely closed, and then thread it in a yarn needle and secure it with a knot using one of the loops in the wrong side. We do not have to weave this tail in because this would be on the inside of our project over here. So there I have secured it with a knot. And here we have completed our base. Our base is a little circle. Now let us crochet the ears. For the ears, I'm taking a white yarn here, and for round 1 I will do a magic circle and 4 single crochet inside the ring. If you find it hard to work on a magic circle, you can do chain 2 and work 4 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Round 1 will have a total of 4 single crochet, and for this pattern we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join at the end of each round unless I mention it. You can use a stitch marker to mark the last stitch of the round. And this is how round 1 of our ear looks. Now let's work on round 2. For round 2, the repeat pattern would be 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. This is going to be the repeat pattern, and round 2 will have a total of 6 single crochet. At the end of round 2, make sure to flip your project to the right side. Since we've started with lesser stitches, the project tends to be in the wrong side. Now let's start working on round 3. The repeat pattern for this round is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern one more time for this round, and round 3 will have a total of 8 single crochet. For round 4, the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern one more time, and this round will have a total of 10 single crochet. And this is how a project will begin to look. Now let's work on round 5, which is the last round for our ears. For this round, I will work 1 single crochet in every stitch around. This round will have a total of 10 single crochet. After completing the 10th single crochet, I'm going to join with a slip stitch in my next stitch. And then we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. You can push the magic circle tail to the inside of our project, and then we can flatten our ears. We do not have to stuff this. So there I have crocheted 1 ear. Make sure to crochet 1 more for the ghost. Now let us crochet the wings. So I'm going to start my pattern by doing a slip knot first. To do a slip knot, I'm going to take my yarn and I will wrap it around my finger and cross it over at the point where the yarn meets. Next, I will pinch here and take this little loop out. Now I will insert my hook inside the loop, yarn over and bring a loop from the skein end. Once when you have this, you can grab your tail and you can pull it tight. So there is the slip knot, and you can pull the yarn from the skein end to adjust the tension of the loop on the hook. Make sure this is not too tight or not too loose and it's of the correct tension. Now let's start working on our chains. So for row 1, I will do 15 chains here. To do a chain, I will yarn over from the skein end and I will pull through the loop on the hook. So there we have made 1 chain. So I'm going to make 14 more chains here so that we have a total of 15 chains for row 1. So once when you have a total of 15 chains, we can work our row 1 stitches on top of the chains over here. So in the second chain from the hook, I will do a slip stitch. So this is the first chain from the hook and this is the second chain from the hook. So here I'll be inserting my hook and I will work a slip stitch. And I will do a single crochet in the next 5 chains over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I will do a single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease for a total of 2 times here. To do so, I will insert my hook inside the next chain. I will yarn over and bring up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on the hook. I will insert my hook in the next chain. I will yarn over and bring up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on the hook. We would have taken 2 stitches in the bottom. Now I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. This stitch is the single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease. We would have taken 2 stitches from the bottom and completed it as 1 stitch. So now I'm going to repeat this 1 more time here. And now we have 4 chains remaining here. I will do a slip stitch in each of these chains over here. This is how our wing will look at the end of row 1. Now let's start working on row 2. For that I will do chain 1 and I will turn my project over. Now we'll be working on top of our stitches over here in this side. So first I will do a single crochet in the same stitch. And I will do 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches. So now we have a total of 10 single crochet here. Now we have 2 more stitches remaining. I will work 1 slip stitch in the next 2 chains. So it is hard to work on top of the slip stitches. So make sure your slip stitch is a little bit loose so that we can work our stitches on top of the slip stitch. So this is how the wings will look at the end of row 2. Now let's work on row 3. For row 3, I will turn my project over. And I'm going to skip the same stitch, and in the next stitch I will do a slip stitch. And in the next stitch I will do another slip stitch. So now in the next 2 stitches I'll be working 1 single crochet each. And now I will do a single crochet 2 together, or a single crochet decrease, and a single crochet in the next 5 stitches over here. This is how the wing will look at the end of row 3. Now for row, I will do chain 1 and I will turn my project over. Now I will do a single crochet in the next 4 stitches, starting from the same stitch. Followed by a single crochet 2 together, followed by a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and a slip stitch in the next stitch. So this will be on top of a slip stitch, so it is a little bit hard, but make sure to do your best to work on a slip stitch, and we'll be leaving the remaining stitch over here. This is how our wing will look at the end of row 4. Now let's work on the last row of our wing, which is row 5. For this row, I will turn my project over and I will skip the same stitch and I will do a slip stitch in the next stitch. Now I will do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So in the same stitch, I will work 2 single crochet, followed by a slip stitch in the next stitch, and I will do 3 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a slip stitch in the next stitch, and I will do 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by a slip stitch in the next stitch, and we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. We will be using this tail to sew the wing, so make sure it is long enough. And this is how our wings will look. You can use any side as your right side. So for one side we'll be attaching like this, and for the other side we'll be attaching like this. So make sure to crochet another wing for your project. Now let's crochet the wind spinner. This will be crocheted in rows, and for row 1 I will do a slip knot followed by 41 chains. To do a slip knot, I'm going to take my yarn like this and I will wrap it around my finger and cross it over at the point where the yarn meets. Next I will pinch it over here and carefully take this little loop out. Now I'm going to insert my hook inside this and I will yarn over and bring a loop from the skein end, and I'm going to grab the tail and pull it tight. So there we have formed our slip knot. Now make sure the loop on the hook is of the correct tension, that is, it's not too loose and not too tight. And let me show you how to work a chain. To do a chain, I will yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. So there I have made 1 chain. I'm going to do 40 more chains here so that we have a total of 41 chains. So now we'll be working our stitches on the chains over here. So I will do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain from the hook and this is the second chain. Here I will work 1 single crochet and I'll be working a single crochet in these remaining chains over here. Row 1 will have a total of 40 single crochet. You can crochet more chains here if you would like your wind spinner to be longer. So I'll be working on single crochet like this in each chain across, and I will meet you when I complete row 1. This is how the project will look at the end of row 1. Now let's work on row 2. For row 2, I will do chain 3 first. This counts as a double crochet. Now I'm going to turn my project over and we'll be crocheting on top of our stitches over here. So in the same stitch, I will do 1 double crochet. To do a double crochet, I will yarn over, insert my hook inside the stitch, yarn over and bring up a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. I'll yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. We have 2 loops remaining. I'll yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. So this stitch is the double crochet. Now I will do 2 double crochet in the remaining stitches over here. So I'll be crocheting like this for each of the remaining stitches, and I will meet you at the end of row 2. Row 2 will have a total of 80 double crochet. This is how the wind spinner will look at the end of row 2, and it has curled up. This is completely normal. Now let's crochet row 3. For row 3, I'm going to start off with chain 2 over here. This counts as a half double crochet, and now we are going to turn our project. So now in the same stitch, I will work 1 double crochet and a half double crochet. We'll be crocheting 3 stitches in every stitch. So in the next stitch, I will do 1 single crochet, a half double crochet and a single crochet. So now let's start working on the repeat pattern for the row. The repeat pattern would be a half double crochet, a double crochet in the same stitch, followed by a half double crochet in the same stitch and a single crochet in the next stitch, a half double crochet in the same stitch, followed by a single crochet in the same stitch. So this will be the repeat pattern for the remaining stitches in the row. We'll be crocheting 3 stitches in each stitch. If you find it hard to follow the repeat pattern, you can do 3 double crochets in every stitch over here. But I'm doing this so that we have a little wavy edging to our wind spinner. I'll be repeating this pattern for the remaining stitches, and I will meet you at the end of row 3. After completing a total of 240 stitches for row 3, the last one being on top of the chain 3 of row 2, our project looks like this. At this time, we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. We'll use this tail to attach the wind spinner onto the ghost, so make sure the tail is long enough. And once when we do so, we can start arranging the wind spinner. As we've used a lot of different stitches on the last row, our wind spinner looks wavy, and this would match our ghost. Now let me show you how to assemble the bat ghost. For that, I'm taking my body and some polyester fiberfill. Make sure to break the polyester fiberfill into smaller pieces before stuffing it. The next step in the assembly is to attach the base to the bottom of our ghost over here. So I'm taking a yarn needle and I'm going to thread the tail in it. I'm going to position the wrong side of the base to be on the inside of our project, and I'm going to push the round 15 of our body outside like this, so that we have a little ridge over here. This is the back loops only of round 14. So I'm going to use this as a guide to attach the base to our bottom of our ghost over here. So I'm going to place the base like this, and I will start sewing it to the back loops only of round 14. I'm using the stitch from round 4 of the base to the back loops only of round 14 of the body of the ghost, and I will be attaching it like this. So this is how it's getting attached. I will attach it all the way and I'll meet you when I'm at the end over here. After sewing all the stitches, you can secure over here with a knot. And then we can weave in the tail. To weave in the tail for any amigurumi, I'm going to insert my needle next to the knot over here. And then I'm going to bring the needle through the stuffing and I'm going to pull the needle out in any random stitch. So once when you get on the other side, you can remove the needle and stretch out the project so that it has not lost its shape. And then we can trim it off over here. So there we have attached the base to our project. The next step of the assembly is to attach the ears on top of our head over here on either side. I'll be taking my ears and I'll thread the long tail in a yarn needle. Like I mentioned earlier, we do not have to stuff the ear, just flatten it, and while attaching, we'll be attaching with both these layers over here. Make sure to pinch it so that it looks like a C, and then we can attach it on rounds 2, 3 and 4 of our body of our ghost like this. And I'll be attaching the other ear on the other side like this. I'll meet you after I attach the ears. This is how our bat ghost will look after attaching the ears. Step in the assembly is to attach the wings on either side of the body below the ears in rounds 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So I'm going to take my wing, thread one of the long tail in a yarn needle, and I'm going to position over here from rounds 8 to round 12, and then I will sew it in place like this. Row 1 of the wings is to be on top of the ghost and row 5 is to be at the bottom over here. In the same manner, I'll be attaching the other wing on the other side of the ghost. This time, the other side of the wing will be facing the front. And I will meet you after I attach the other wing. If you haven't attached a hanger to the top of the project where I have previously mentioned, you can do so now at this point. So this is the yarn from attaching one of the wings over here. So I will insert my needle over here and bring it at the top center of our ghost. And then you can take the needle out. So this is like weaving in the tails, but I'm just bringing it at the top center of our ghost over here. For a wind spinner, a single strand of yarn works best, as this will allow the wind spinner to spin more freely. The last step in the assembly is to attach the wind spinner to the bottom of our ghost over here. So I'm taking my wind spinner and I'm threading one of the tail in a yarn needle, and I'm going to position the wind spinner like this. That is the starting point of the wind spinner, the row 1 of the wind spinner to be at the center of the base, and the row 3 of the wind spinner to be at the end of our base over here like this, and I will sew it in place. So once when we attach one end of the wind spinner to the bottom of our ghost, we can secure it with a knot. And then we can weave in both these tails. And then you can adjust the wind spinner. I'm placing the wrong side of row 3 to be on top of the wind spinner because I want this bumpy side of the wrong side visible on our wind spinner. And optionally, you can attach fringes or tassels to the bottom of our wind spinner. I'm leaving it as such. So this is how our finished wind spinner looks. I hope you enjoy crocheting this along with me. Please show your support by subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.